You all take care not to do your alms before men for the purpose of being seen by them, but if otherwise, you do not have a reward alongside your Father in the heavens. Matthew 6:1. As Jesus continues instructing the Jews on their conduct related to his kingdom, he comes to the giving of alms. The practice of giving alms fulfills the Mosaic law by providing financial and material assistance to those in need. Deuteronomy 15:11. Israelites were legally required to care for the poor. Leviticus 25:35 through 37. If they publicly displayed their offerings and boasted of their generosity, they would forfeit any reward from their Father in heaven, receiving only human approval instead. Matthew 6:2. Under kingdom law, Israel will also be obligated to provide for those among them who were destitute. Almsgiving is rooted in obedience to God's law rather than for a public display. Accordingly, when giving alms, one should act discreetly, ensuring that no action is performed for the sake of recognition. Matthew 6:3. When almsgiving is conducted in faith and without self-promotion, a reward is promised from the Father. Matthew 6:4. The practice of almsgiving did not carry over into the dispensation of grace as it is associated with the Mosaic law. Christians are instructed to provide for fellow believers in need, 1 John 3:17. This responsibility is prioritized toward members of the faith community rather than the broader world, Galatians 6:10. Genuine love for God is demonstrated by seeking the well-being of other Christians, 1 John 4:21. However, this principle does not allow individuals to exploit the generosity of others. Those unwilling to work should not receive support, 2 Thessalonians 3:10. A universal principle underlies the motivation for performing good deeds. Christians are not called to obey only when others are watching, Ephesians 5:5. Instead, they are to serve from the soul, fulfilling God's desirous will as service to the Lord rather than to people, Ephesians 5:6 and 7. Serving from the soul implies finding joy in the act itself. Since Christians are not under the Mosaic law, their giving reflects who they are in Christ. The Lord values a cheerful giver. Thus, believers are encouraged to prioritize caring for fellow Christians and, from their surplus, determine what to give not out of necessity or need, but with a cheerful heart, 2 Corinthians 9:7. In contrast to the Mosaic law and Christ's instructions to the Jews in Matthew 6:1 through 5, the reason the Christian cares for others is motivated by love rather than obligation. Visit thechristianlife.org today to explore more grace-filled teachings, Bible studies, and resources that will strengthen your walk in the freedom of Christ.